There's still some confusion over completing a packet tracer and what needs to be uploaded under the submit button in Netacad. So I am going to use packet tracer 2.2.3.4 initial switch configuration as demonstration on what needs to be done. From your home page, click on launch course, click on chapter 2, section 2.2, topic 2.2.3, packet tracer 2.2.3.4. That's going to bring up the page that the packet tracer is located on. If I clicked it, here we go. Now I'm going to open my packet tracer PKA. I'm not going to open these instructions. These instructions are a PDF, and the instructions are the same on the docx, which is in your module or under your assignments tab. It's going to open with packet tracer 7. When it pops up, and it might take a moment. I'm going to change the user profile to my name. And when I do that, it comes up and tells me that I'm resetting the activity. That's fine. That's what I want to do. Now, you'll notice that this is my packet tracer. This is the window where I'm going to do all my work. But behind that window, I'm going to slide this over to the side. I have another window which is going to give me my completion down here in this corner. Right now I've completed 12 of 72 tasks. And as I go through this packet tracer, I can click on the check results and it'll tell me what I haven't done and what I've finished, what I haven't finished. I'm going to return to my class down here, which should take me back to my home page. I'm going to go to modules. I'm going to scroll down to chapter 2. I'm going to click on my 2.2.3.4 packet tracer tab. Now, here's my docx. Here's my submit assignment. I'm going to open my docx, and it's a Word document, so that's going to allow me to type directly into it. I'm going to enable editing. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it to the left side of my screen. It's going to fill up the left side. Scroll down to where I want to start things, which is right here under part 1. Come down, open my packet tracer back up, and open up my window that allows me to check what's going on or what I've done and what I haven't done. I'm running 2 screens. I got one other thing I need to do on my other screen. There we go. Now, as I follow through on this, I can do one of 2 things. I can work from my Word document right here, or I can scroll down through this window, and it's going to be the same thing. It's going to tell me what I need to do as I need to do it. So, first thing it says for me to do is click S1, then click on the CLI tab, which is Control Line Interface. Now, right down here, I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to hit my Enter tab. It's going to bring up the name, the current name, which is switch, and it's going to bring up a right arrow. That right arrow indicates that you're in exec mode. Okay, you've got 2 different modes. You've got exec mode, you've got privileged exec mode. Exec mode allows you to do some activities, but not everything that you need to do to control the switch. Now, the first thing I want to do is go into executive mode, or exec mode, which is enable. Now you'll notice that the character at the end of the switch has changed from an arrow to a hashtag or a pound sign. depending, I guess, depending on how old you are. Now, it tells me to type in show running config. Now, this is what or how the switch is set up right now with nothing set up, no changes made to it. Hit the tab, hit the space bar, and you'll tab through the pages. Sorry about that, my eyes seem to be watering for some reason. So coming over here to my document, first question is that it asks is how many fast Ethernet interfaces does the switch have? If I look right here, it has 24. So I'm going to come in there. I want this typed in blue. So I'm going to type in 24. How many gigabyte Ethernet interfaces does the switch have? It has 2. Again, in blue. What's the range of values shown for the VTY lines? Goes 0 to 4 and then 5 to 15. So my range is 0 to 15. What command will display the current contents of non-volatile random access memory, or NVRAM? Show running config. Now the only problem that I have with doing this in this particular docx format is that those lines decide that it going to extend. Why does the switch respond with startup config is not present? And it has no startup configuration because you have not saved your running configuration into startup. If I shut this switch down right now, it's going to come up exactly the same way. So if I come down to assign a name to the switch, I'm at the right, I'm in exec mode, or privileged exec mode, I'm sorry. I want to configure the terminal. Then I want to name the switch, which means I type in host name and then the name that I'm decided the switch is going to be. And I'm going to exit. If you notice, it is now changed from switch to S1. Next thing I want to do, and again, I have to make any changes, I have to go to configure terminal. Now, I want to configure my console access. So I'm going to type in line. Console 0. My password is let me in. Now, if I left it right there and I backed out of my, it saved it, backed out of my switch, when I come back in, I'm not going to have to log in because I haven't told it that I need to log in. So that's what this next line does. Then I'm going to exit. And when I exit, it takes me out of the config line, see this right here? Takes me out of this, takes me back to my config terminal. Now, I can exit again. It's going to take me back to my exec mode, which is where I want to be. Exit out of there. Exit one more time. It takes me back to my start menu on my switch. Now, it comes up user access verification. And for me to get into the switch now, I have to type in my password, which was let me in. Now I'm back to my exec mode here. I want to secure my privileged exec mode. So I go enable, and I go config terminal, and now I want to do enable password. Now the password in this case is C1 $, C0. And that's not going to work because I forgot to put a space in there. Spaces are very important. Exit. Exit again. That's going to log me out of the switch. I hit enter to get from the access into the switch is let me in. And then if I want to go into executive mode, privileged executive mode, type enable, and it asks me for my password, which was C1 $C0. Now I'm in privileged exec mode. Now I'm going to go do show running config. And it shows right here that my enable password is here. And you'll notice that my console password is right here. They're both in what's known as plain text. Anybody that can get into the switch can read them. That's not a very secure system. So now we want to go to an encrypted password. And all the encrypted password is going to do is it's going to encrypt what you see on this page. Sorry about that. I had to take care of letting some students out. What was I saying? Okay. These are your passwords are in plain text. We want to put them, we want to encrypt them so that somebody that gets into the system can't see what they are. Because normally on a large system, you're not going to have an individual password to access the switch and to get into the privileged exec mode. They're all going to be the same. So if somebody gets into one switch, they're probably going to be able to access all the switches. So you want to encode them. Now, to do that, you'll notice as this goes on, the commands get shorter because you can abbreviate to a certain degree as long as the machine, as long as the operating system knows what you're looking for. So by typing in config T, I've entered, that would be the same as configure terminal. Now I want to do enable secret, and my new one is it's a It's terrible when you get old and you forget how to spell things. Now the enable secret is going to override the enable password. I want to verify that. Exit. Enter. And now user access password is the same, so that's let me in. But now when I go to enable, the password is it's a secret. And I want to see that it's in there, so I'm going to do a show run. And notice that my secret password is encrypted. It's actually hashed, so nobody can read it or understand what the actual password is. But my let me in password is still there. So I need to fix that. The way to fix that is in step 8, I'm going to encrypt my console passwords. Go again with config T. And then it is service password dash encryption and exit. Now if I did a show run right now, you'd see that my enable password has been, my enable secret is obviously hashed. My enable password has been hashed. And my console password has been hashed, so that somebody that breaks in can't find them and get into other machines again. Now, I want to put a message of the day banner on there. And in this case, once I'm in my config terminal mode, it's banner, message of the day, and you have to use a delimiter on your messages. It could be pretty much what you want. I like a hash, so I'm going to put a hash. This is a secure system. Authorized access only. And then whatever I started it with, I end it with. Now, enter. Now I want to exit from there. Now I'm not typing in here, but that's where you answer your questions as you're going along. Now I want to save my running configuration to my startup configuration. That way if I shut down the switch, or the switch gets shut down, gets powered off, lose power, whatever it may be, when it comes back up, this entire configuration is going to be where it starts. You don't have to go in and reconfigure the router every time, or the switch every time the power goes out. To do that again, it's copy running configuration, or running config. Let's make it short. No reason to make it longer than we need to. To startup config. It's going to ask you what the destination name is. In this case, we want startup config. Now, the next thing we want to do is configure S2. Now I'm going to exit from this one. I'm going to minimize this control window, control line window. Now, I've explained earlier that you can take all your commands you need to do and put them into a notepad. Hit the wrong button, which I've done. Click on S2. Click on my command line interface. This is where I'm going to start from. Now I'm going to highlight my switch, the switch load, the commands that I want entered, and that's on a notepad. I want to bring that notepad over so you can see it. Okay, I've got my enable, I got config terminal, I got my host name, I got my line console, password, login, my enable password, my enable secret password, my banner, my service password encryption, and my copy running config startup config. And they're all blue because I've already highlighted them. I'm going to copy, slide this back over to my other screen, and then go right there, and I'm going to hit paste, and if I did everything properly, it should go through no problem at all. Now down here at the bottom, it's asking for my destination file name. I believe if I wait a little bit, it will take startup config on its own. I could, if I wanted to save it to another file name, I could type that in right there. If I hit enter, it's going to build the configuration. It's built. Exit from there. Exit again. I go back to my start page. I want to go in. So access to my console is let me in. And when I want to enable, it is C $1 $C0. Looks like I did something wrong. Sometimes I just don't do things right. Interesting. I'll have to see what oh, okay. Secret password is it's a secret. I was trying to log in with my enable password, not my secret password. That works better. Now if I type in show run, it's going to show me the running configuration. There's my service password encryption. There's my host name. There's my secret password. My enable password and my console password are both encrypted. And that is the end of this particular exercise. Now, right here on this PT activity, notice how I have a completion of 72 out of 72. If I click on check results, it pops up this window. Overall feedback says I completed it. It tells me what my assessment items are. Under S1, I got my banner, I got my login, my password, enable password. I've completed everything there. I've completed everything here. Click on close. Now, as far as this submitting things, I'm going to slide this back down here. I'm going to save this, save as, and I'm going to save this in my thumb drive under ITN 154. Actually, let me look right here for a second. I think I'm going to save it under my snip. And what I want to do is I can either put my name at the very beginning, which would be fine, or I can put it between, as long as my name is in there. Now I've completed this. I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to minimize this one. Actually, I'm going to bring that back up because I want to show you two possibilities. I said I wanted a snip of your finished project, and that's this piece right here. So what I want a snip of is either this entire packet tracer with this piece on top, or I want just this. Save as again. Go back to, I've got things all over the place that I've done, into my snip file, and I'm going to call it, actually I'm going to cheat and go like that. .3.4 and save. Now I'm going to close that. Oh, close this. Do I want to save changes in the snip? I'll say yes. Put it on there. Save it again. Replace it. Close that. Close this. Close this one. Do I want to say, I've already saved my work. I can either save it again or I can say no. Now I want to submit my assignment. I'm going to click on my submit button. I was cleaning up my other screen. That's why my cursor disappeared for a moment. Right here, I want to do a file upload. Browse. Where did I save everything? I saved everything on my thumb drive, in my snip folder. So here is my packet tracer 2234. I want to upload that. I want to add another file. Browse. I want to upload my 2234 snip. I want to add a third file. Oops. Let's get rid of that. Clicked it too many times. I thought I saved. Go back one. There's my completed packet tracer document. I'm going to upload that. And then I'm going to hit submit assignment. Tells me it's submitting. My submission is completed, and these are the 3 files that I've turned in. If you've completed your assignment, you've changed something, you can resubmit. Okay? I think that covers everything. I hope you have a good weekend. And if you have any questions, you can email me. That's probably the quickest and easiest way to get me.